Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Stranger Days. And, there's been an ongoing discussion about Russian meddling in the 2016 presidential election since, well, hey, 2016. And there are people out there that believe it, and there are people out there that don't believe it. As the evidence continues to come out and more and more indictments come in and more guilty pleas come in, it's getting really difficult to kind of sit there and go, it didn't happen. No. It happened. It's not to say that it's effective. We have to sit there and differentiate between effective and happened. All right. But we have to sit there and acknowledge at this point that it happened. But what gets crazy is when you look into what they did. And it's not just like making memes on Twitter or making memes on Facebook or using VPNs to basically fake being American citizens in order to run these types of ad campaigns or buying fake IDs and fake credit cards from the dark web, right? No. It's not just that. They decided to go a little bit further. They went after people who don't masturbate. Now, as a frequent masturbator, I have no idea what it's like to not do it. I would just get really angry at the world. Maybe that's why they targeted them. But it says here that Russian election meddlers started an anti-masturbation hotline. I'm going to quote, there's something about Mary here. It's like, you never leave the house with a loaded gun. You know what I mean? Anyway, I just find that to be so funny. So the Russia-linked internet research agency may have tried to blackmail potential American recruits by setting up a fake anti-masturbation hotline, according to a new report from the Senate Intelligence Committee. This isn't like your mom and pop backwards ass, like deep web covering website here. This is the Senate Intelligence Committee, the Republican-led Senate Intelligence Committee, by the way. The IRA reportedly advised a hotline on a fake Christian Facebook page, encouraging readers to reach out if they were struggling with addiction to masturbation. That's not something I'd ever struggle out. I'd never reach out for. I'd never reach for that. I'd reach for my gold bond. No, wait, that's way too. That dries way too quick. Lubriderm. Don't quote me on that one. I have no idea. But anyway, the point here is, so this actually came from an ongoing analysis of the Russian political influence campaigns of social media that were produced by researchers at a cybersecurity company, New Knowledge. It's meant to illustrate the reach and complexity of the IRA's operations. That would be the Internet Research Agency, although the report doesn't say whether it actually worked. Again, we don't know whether or not things worked. We just know things happened. All right. But still, creating an anti-masturbation hotline, I feel like that's going after the incels. Like targeting the incels, making them your own personal army. Like, oh, do you feel bad about urges to whack it? Call our hotline. For what? When I was a teenager, the only hotlines I called was 1-800-BIG-BOOBS or 1-800-FAT-PUSS or 1-800-FAT-TITS or 1-800, what are the other ones? There was a lot of those. You could basically make any combination of like hot, fat, three-worded stuff and then put boobs or butt or you find your own 4-minute, you could probably even do like 1-800 cum slut. That would be, this video is already demonetized. Anyway, so as previous reports have detailed, the IRA tied itself to American political movements and encouraged its supporters to unwittingly spread divisive propaganda. It also cultivated relationships with individuals under the guise of supporting causes like the Trump campaign or Black Lives Matter. Again, they were playing both sides. According to the white paper, the IRA looked for compromising information on these potential assets, even going as far as to create hotlines for people struggling with sexual behavior, creating an opportunity to blackmail or manipulate these individuals in the future. And that is a big problem when it comes to the online sphere. Is if you go out there and you are struggling with your identity or your sexual orientation or anything, it is possible that you can be misled and people would use that information against you. Blackmail is not something that's out of the question. Now, the report includes 3 examples of IRA posts, one posted to a fake pro-LGBT Facebook page called LGBT United. The other 2 posted to faux religious group pages called Army of Jesus. Okay. The former was a straightforward offer to support struggling gay, lesbian, or transgender teens. The latter 2 reportedly pointed to a hotline for guilty masturbators. Struggling with addiction to masturbation, reach out to me and we'll beat it together. One post said, quote attributed to Jesus. Look, I'm not saying, oh, wow, that is, look, if this is a troll job, they did wonderful. Another one here is you can't hold hands with God when you're masturbating. That is simply not true. You walk with one hand holding his, the other one is free for the devil's work. Now he says, this is where it gets interesting. This is where we get into the data of it, right? Now, the researchers drew these details from a trove of IRA related posts, including 10.4 million tweets from 3,800 accounts, 1,100 YouTube videos across 17 channels, 116,000 Instagram posts from 133 accounts, and 61,500 posts from Facebook pages. That is a lot of spread. And if they were sharing it and if they were using the algorithm to their advantage, then they could easily get this thing out there. If they were all liking it and whatever, it goes higher to the pile, especially on Facebook. Now, this is all provided by the Senate Intelligence Committee. Beyond the hotline details, the white paper alleges that Instagram was a significant front for the influence operations, especially after media reports started covering the group's activities on Twitter and Facebook. Like I've pointed out before, you know, everyone focused their attention on Twitter and on Facebook, but there's other social media out there, Instagram, Snapchat, and YouTube is a big one that no one ever wants to talk about YouTube. Although I think they probably should ultimately end up talking about YouTube in a few cases. Now, it says here that earlier reports have described the IRA targeting Black Americans for propaganda, but the researchers here point to a particularly concerted effort on YouTube, where by far the most content focused on Black Lives Matter and police brutality. So that was a big thing. Again, 2016, there was a lot of those conversations that were always going on. Now, it goes on to say that they don't know if anyone actually called the hotline or anyone actually engaged, and we don't know. We don't know. We have no idea. And at this point, I don't know. I can't sit there and say yay or nay. It was, you know, Russian propaganda, Russian influence that actually worked. I literally have zero idea. But what I do know is that this is funny. And this just goes to show you how far this stuff went, right? Like they really were attacking things from all sides, throwing it all at the wall to see what stuck. And there were cases where they scheduled protests and counter protests against each other. I mean, they were really, really working everyone against everyone. But why the anti-masturbators, right? Like were they trying to find the people that were so deeply religious, but they couldn't get their hands off themselves, and they wanted to use that as some form of way to compromise the situation? Something I don't know. I don't get. I don't understand. And I hope to one day understand it. I hope to one day fully have a comprehensive knowledge of what all went down and how impactful or ineffective it was, if at all, but definitively have that knowledge, not just simply speculate and go off of that. What we do know is that this stuff happened. What we don't know is whether or not it had any impact. There are people out there that will argue that it absolutely did have impact, and there will be others out there that will say that it didn't have any impact. I don't believe either is true, but it's also not going to be skewed to one side or the other. We're going to be looking at somewhere in that really kind of broad gray area, but I still would love to know it. And it really, if you are a person who is anti-masturbation and you saw these, if you engaged, please let us know. I think at this point, inquiring minds want to know just what it was all about, like what they tell you, like what, how did they? Sorry, just the fact that one thing, that one post, that one headline said, "Struggling with addiction to masturbation, reach out to me and we'll beat it together." Jesus. I guess if someone's doing it for you, it's not really you masturbating. Maybe this whole thing was really just a pro hooker ad. Who really knows? Hey, thank you very much for watching the video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Please be sure to thumbs it up, subscribe, and comment below. Here's real talk though. YouTube is making it harder and harder for channels with different political opinions to be able to monetize. If you want to help the channel keep it around, please consider supporting the channel financially. Links below in the video description. Again, I really appreciate everyone watching. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.